Coming up on today's show, we're going to discuss all the news that came out of the D23 event this last week, and a little bit of other news that's coming up today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everybody, to episode 420 of Traveling with the Mouse. My name is Adam.
Really? 420? Okay.
Yeah. And I am joined today by John.
Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination?
Maybe it is.
Maybe. And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors.
How did we get in here?
Good question. I don't know. I think we say that every week. How did we get in here in this situation? How did we get in this situation?
This podcast chamber that we're in every week.
This echo chamber.
Has any news come out lately from the world of
I don't
Disney?
know. I feel like a bunch of people gathered at the Contemporary this past week.
The Gathering.
To discuss things and causing things like Contempo Cafe to have like a 5-hour wait for food.
Yeah. Right.
It was something ridiculous. Did you see that like on the day when they broke for lunch? It was like a ridiculous wait for Contempo Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the only place you could go get a mobile order.
Right. It's like the closest place to get a mobile order. I mean, because unless you had tickets to the Magic Kingdom, you could buy like mobile order Casey's maybe.
Yeah. Go to Casey's and get a hot dog.
Yeah. That'd be the
long
closest one. Yeah. Or you could go to the Poly. You could go
take the monorail over to
Captain Cook's.
Yeah. That'd be the best option, actually. Speaking of D23.
All right. I will say this about Josh tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, so I saw a clip on Attractions Magazines, right? Or magazine, not magazines.
Plural.
I guess it was the opening. Was that the opening with the Muppets? Because this was one that just compiled all the Muppet parts, pretty much.
It was scattered throughout the whole thing, the Muppets, yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cool, because, I mean, I love the Muppets. But that thing at the beginning where they made it almost like he was going out there on the Muppet Show, like the introduction was like for the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Some of that interaction kind of reminded me of what Michael Eisner used to do. You know what I'm talking about? Like with his introductions on like the Wonderful World of Disney or whatever it was, the Sunday night movie that they used to do, right? You remember he used to always do a short presentation, usually with something to do with what they're about to show, right?
Right. Very Walt-like.
Like I remember they were showing Herbie Rides Again, and he had some kind of a little skit with Herbie, right? I remember that from the 80s. Stuff like that. But they kind of reminded me of that stuff. And I'm thinking, maybe Josh has what it takes to be the face of the company after all. So maybe they should consider him at least. He has the personality for it. I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, Josh could pull it off.
I don't know about what he has other skill-wise, but maybe he can surround himself. Maybe they can do kind of like they did way back in the day when they have basically a 3-person, almost like a, what would you call it? Almost like a 3-person structure where you had the creative, you had the money guy, and you had, I don't know, what would you call Ratzenberger?
The movie guy? I know.
No, that's not Ratzenberger. Katzenberg,
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, like those 3, right? I think it worked very well for them over that period, right? So maybe they can find somebody that can be the good money person. I don't know if, given the fact that she's somewhat wrapped up in a lawsuit, I don't know if Christine McCarthy would be the choice or not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need the right combo, so to speak, right? Because Iger's like 72, 3. I mean, he can't possibly.
Yeah.
Not only does he want to retire, technically, he can't possibly be in this for too terribly long.
Too much longer.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
And he seems like he's in over his head right now, as we've talked about. But
yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But I went back, because we used to always blame the IP stuff on Chapek, and Chapek was there because he was at the company for over 30 years. But as soon as Iger turned CEO, one of the first things I think I still have it saved right here, right? Like the first year, the Walt Disney Company Right, this is basically the parks thing. It's talking about what happens in 2006, right? When they talk about the slate of the new attractions. One of the ones that's in there that's in the listing is changing the Living Seas to the Seas with Nemo. This is one of the first, and when you look back at it, this is one of the first ones of first signs of IP at Epcot, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, kind of all started with that, didn't it?
It seems to be, at least as far as Epcot goes.
Yeah,
I feel like they're trying to dial it back though. We're getting to D23 especially with the Figment announcement.
Figment,
right?
Country Bears, yeah, they're not replacing it with IP. We'll get to all that in a minute. I did want to circle back to the Muppets really quick because they, it's like they can't really figure out what to do with the Muppets, but this was a pretty good use of them. Although during the live, presentation, they kind of screwed up a lot of the camera work to where you actually saw the puppeteers quite often, actually, when they were coming out.
Yeah, I don't think they were trying to hide it, though, from the looks of it. I don't think.
Well, I think they were, because the cameras kept trying to adjust to, like, the right height or whatever, but they kept doing wide shots, and you, saw a guy on a...
Oh, you're talking about the official broadcast.
Yes, the official one.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you were to watch anyone else's video of it, you would say that, no, they didn't really try.
Right, yeah, the official one, right. Yeah, if it's someone that was in the audience, of course they... Yeah. The official one, they tried to cover it up, but they didn't do a great job of it. But still, there was some good moments with the Muppets, yeah. Speaking of Country Bears, though, Fozzie Bear came out and did some bear jokes. That was pretty good.
I haven't really kind of watched
the whole thing,
all of it. So I just basically have the recap, I guess.
Yeah,
that I would have to refer to for most of it.
Well, should we start with Country Bear Jamboree since I just brought it up?
Sure, go right ahead.
This one was kind of a surprise in the sense that this hadn't been hinted at. I mean, there's been rumors, but nothing official, and all of a sudden next year, brand new show, which means probably will be, I would guess, a close date maybe after the holidays. I don't know.
What
do you probably... Yeah, I don't know, soon.
Well,
soonish.
They said coming 2024.
Yeah.
So,
and it seems like a lot of people keep saying that they think the animatronics are going to get an update and everything. So I'm like, if they're going to do all that, it's going to need some time, some significant downtime, I would think, to replace some animatronics and whatnot and do some updates to the theater, which the theater desperately needs sound upgrades because the show is so quiet currently.
So when they say things like coming 2024, that could mean December 31st, 2024.
Exactly.
So I got to be honest, though. I think a lot of what they plan on doing, since they don't plan on changing the characters themselves, right?
Yeah.
Is mostly the audio tracks that they plan on changing, which, of course, they do still have to sync those things up. But it sounds like they've already got the audio tracks in the works.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff they can do in the background with the show still operating.
Do you think they would still use these old animatronics, though? You don't think they would try to update them?
Well, I mean, they're older, but how old are the ones they're currently using? I don't think...
they're pretty clunky.
I don't think they're the originals, though.
They may not be the exact originals, but they're pretty clunky. They're not very smooth moving.
And this is potentially one of those things, if they plan on changing out animatronics, they could probably do them one at a time, to be honest. And hardly anybody would know.
Well, you'd notice when they're moving way more fluidly. It'd be, and a lot of people don't realize too, the songs in the show were not original songs written for the thing. Not all of them. Most of them weren't, actually.
Well, I think most of them were, wasn't it? There was only a handful that were. I know that song, correctly. How Long Is Forever, right? I think, isn't that a Buck Owens song? Is that the one?
Yeah. Even Blood on the Saddle, I don't think was an original for Country Road Jamboree.
Really?
Yeah, if you look it up, there's several. What was the other one? Like the
one I just
Old
mentioned.
Slewfoot is not
Right.
not a.
Well, I mean, you
What's
got
another one?
ones like obvious, like Davy Crockett, right? The battle. I mean,
Yeah.
that's obvious.
Which is IP, so there you have it.
It's IP, but the song was around. Well, no, that was the Disney song. That version was because it was for the movie.
That version of it, yeah.
Or for the TV show.
But not all the songs were original, so the fact that they're going to change it and probably do, I know, they obviously showed Bare Necessities, which actually makes sense. I kind of wonder why they didn't put it in the original show, because that was not long after that movie came out, 4 years after
True.
Jungle Book. Kind of makes you wonder why they didn't put it in the show originally. But
I think when I hear them adding a song like that, it kind of reminds me of when they did the change to the Vacation Hoedown. Because they used a lot of existing songs in the Vacation Hoedown. Not all of them. I mean, they weren't Disney-related songs, but using something like Bare Necessities, I mean, it fits.
Yeah.
Because it's Disney song. But, the Vacation one, they used a lot of songs that existed, like, for instance, On the Road Again, Willie Nelson, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first one that comes to mind. But they had some other, Singing in the Rain, right? Gene Kelly, that was what they used for Teddy Bear to sing.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's some other ones.
I wonder what they'll do with Teddy Bear, because she's on the poster, but is she going to still be swinging Teddy Bear?
Well, why not?
Yeah. I'm just curious, because there's a lot of suggestive stuff in
that's show. To me, though, that's one of those things where it's like, I wouldn't have thought anything about that as a kid, right?
Yeah, not as a kid.
I never did.
Not as a kid.
So it's one of those things like whenever they do a movie where they put those adult jokes in, they like sneak them in there.
Right.
The kids don't know any difference. That's kind of what this show is. I kind of hope that they keep that spirit, truthfully.
I do too, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's obviously a few changes still. We've talked about this over time. Little Buford song is not quite PC anymore. It's, especially
just as a thing, you should shoot him and say, yeah, but that's the humor side of it. I get it.
And of course, corporal punishment. We can't do that these days.
Oh,
right?
please.
So, but seriously, there's just stuff.
Right, they're just trying to avoid things that people might potentially try to nitpick.
Yeah, exactly. And another obvious change that, if you look up the word liver lips, if you Google it, it's got a lot of, racial connotations to it.
Really?
So they changed. Yeah, look, just Google it. Well, maybe don't Google it. But
what is it in what is it in like the Urban Dictionary or something?
Just Google it. Yeah, just Google it.
I just thought they did it because they just made a bear with big lips. But
I think it's not that they changed how he looks; they just changed his name, which I think that is fine. But
his song was one of the most hilarious ones.
Yeah, and he's a funny character.
Yeah,
but of course, I think the name change is justified there.
I never could understand exactly what his song was on the Vacation Hoedown version.
Gosh, I barely have seen that one, so I don't really.
They made him look like an Elvis type character. I know that.
So
anyway,
somebody brought this up too. I was going to say that if they do update the animatronics and they can change the show, maybe they would bring back like a seasonal, like Christmas version, like they still do in Tokyo. Is that?
From my understanding, though, I thought the reason why they didn't do it in the American parks, I don't know what Tokyo does for it. It had some
rights to the song.
Yeah, it had something to do with the song rights.
Probably.
Now, maybe Oriental Land Company was willing to pay for that, right? Whereas the domestic parks probably weren't. So I don't know.
Yes, knowing how they Chapek slash budgets on everything, of course they wouldn't do that. But I wonder how much they're paying for Guardians of the Galaxy to play that like 100 times a day.
I don't know. It's so different now.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, okay, iTunes, YouTube Music, Spotify. I mean, you can basically have access to any song that you want, right?
Uh-huh.
For nothing, for next to nothing. Whereas you used to have to buy them at least like $1.99 a track or something like that, right? Once upon a time.
Right. You can stream it
So
for
what is the license?
pennies.
Some of these licensings are like bundled in. They're like grouped in together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe I don't know if it's like, how often they have to do that, but just curious.
Yeah.
What they have to pay, if they have to pay or whatever for it.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're keeping the original characters.
Yes. Yeah.
The jury's gonna be out on the songs and the choice because I really love the original show. So I guess this is a good alternative to where it was probably headed.
Right.
So I mean, eliminating them altogether.
Yeah, it was rumored of like a Toy Story marionette show. Remember that rumor?
Yeah.
So all kinds of stuff that wouldn't have been as good.
They had already been sacrificed, so to speak, out in Disneyland, but the show was way more popular in Florida than it was in California.
Yeah. Always, yeah.
They even kept the vacation version out in Disneyland way after the Florida one went back to the original.
Yeah.
I think even back in that time period, before there was such thing as an internet, they got a ton of fan reaction on the Florida one, enough to change it back.
Right.
So
it
didn't last very long. The vacation, I think it was changed back within at least 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it was that too terribly long.
But which one do they do? Tokyo still changes to Christmas, but they do the original version, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's.
And I think they do the full soundtrack. They didn't get chopped up,
shortened. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but yeah, I don't.
So if you want to see the original version of Country Bears, you just
go to Tokyo.
Yeah. If you want to see the original version of anything that's gone now, just go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Splash Mountain, whatever.
But kind of expanding a little further out now, I think this is similar to what, the rumors that came out about redoing Frontierland, and because of Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening, it doesn't really fit as a Frontierland attraction. But I do wonder if this new Country Bear Jamboree has something to do with that, where we're going to see some more changes in the Frontierland area to kind of set up the Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening.
Maybe, but from what I've heard so far, anyway, of the new Country Bear soundtrack, it doesn't sound like they're including like jazz, or anything.
I'm not sure. Right, I don't know that they're necessarily going to do that, but they are refreshing it.
It's not going to be very frontier-y.
Right, yeah, same time period. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
There's been plenty of rumors about this area over time. Like, it was a rumor a long time ago when Lost was popular about them changing Tom Sawyer's Island to Lost themed.
How do you think that would have held up if they had done
Well, obviously now it would not have worked.
Because nobody even knows what Lost is anymore.
Yeah. Right. When was that? That premiere went away like 13 years ago now. Yeah, I mean, I said not the premiere. The ending was 13 years ago now.
The finale.
Yeah. Over 13 years ago, because it was in the spring.
It was kind of a disappointment, which I think is why.
Yeah. The show was wildly popular when I was on, though.
Yeah, it was.
I just was disappointed in how they wrapped it up. There's very few series, though, that I like the way they wrapped it up.
Right. Usually it doesn't live up to the hype.
Yeah. Breaking Bad is a good example. It ended well, in my opinion. But
Right. So, it was, the rumor that we didn't hear anything about was Pecos Bills being rethemed. So,
yeah, I think the jury's still out on that one.
Yeah. So, again, it could be a budget cut or whatever, but
I think not so much a budget cut as in it's not as important of a focus at the moment.
Yeah.
More so.
So speaking of that area, on the other side, another one was the Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern coming to Magic Kingdom. This is another super early
one nobody saw coming.
Yeah, nobody saw this coming. And again, it's so early that it could easily get cut as well, because there's really no concept art except this one image of the parrot pulling back a curtain and seeing a bunch of drunk pirates partying, essentially.
Yeah.
Is this even approved yet? Are you just telling us everything you're thinking about doing?
Well, I think this is more or less they've seen the popularity of lounges.
Yeah.
Especially
And Magic Kingdom needs one.
well-themed ones.
Yeah.
Because to be quite honest, I don't think anybody, I'm not saying they're bad, but I don't think anybody goes to something like Hangar Bar because of the drinks. I think they go to Hangar Bar because of the theming, right? And again, I'm not trying to say they're bad, but I just don't think that's the main reason. I think the main reason is the theming. So if they do something similar with the pirates, but then again, wouldn't that be setting a precedent? Because Magic Kingdom not having all except for in restaurants so far.
Right. But when you think about it, I mean, the point was brought up that Disneyland technically has a lounge because Oga's Cantina is in Disneyland Park. So if Disneyland can do it, Magic Kingdom should definitely.
Disneyland did it because they don't have a Studios park. Park.
Right. True. But it is in Disneyland Park, so.
It's the only place in Disneyland Park.
Yeah. And this would be the only lounge at Magic Kingdom, so
why match it?
So would this be basically where Tortuga Tavern is now, and they would just sort of enclose it? It's not a huge area, but is that what they're gonna do? Or
do they even have to enclose it? I mean, it already has a good bit of seating that's...
Yeah, I hope they would,
to
be honest. Because especially if you're going to be drinking at Magic Kingdom, it needs to be indoors because people would just walk around with it at that point, right?
Well, nothing's...
Pour it into a cup and
nothing's stopping them from going outside no matter what. Like,
well, if you have them... Well, I'm just saying, if you have them inside and you keep them drinking and keep them from pouring it into a paper cup and walking around with it.
I like that they're talking about featuring the Barker bird, though. They used to be there. Why did he even go away? It makes no sense.
I don't know. Budget cut, Chapek probably.
Well, I mean, how long he's been gone for a while. He's been gone since the Jack Sparrow overlay, I think.
I feel like I saw him out there once, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when the last time he was out there.
Anyway, I kind of miss having the Barker bird at the original attraction. Just put him back there.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah. It'd be cool. But this will be cool, too. Have him there.
Yeah, at least he'll have a presence.
Yeah. So I'm hoping this will be an actual lounge that, you could go in and, have a pirate-themed drink or something. That'd be cool. Okay, so they did announce Hatbox Ghost is coming, what was it, November 30th or something?
Uh-huh.
Just in time for Halloween.
You said November 30th.
Yeah, I know. I was making a joke.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I guess the reason they're doing that is so they don't have to close it during Halloween season at all to install it. I'm assuming they'll have to maybe close it for a day or two, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, there will be some time because they have to test the animatronic to make sure that it
is functional.
Right.
Because that would be embarrassing.
If they want. So it will take a little bit of time. But this is another one of those things where a lot of the work can be done in the studio and then they just transfer it over, so to speak. I wouldn't think that would take very long.
Yeah, hopefully not long. Okay, let's think. What else? Magic Kingdom, to wrap that up, they briefly talked about what we heard last year, but no new concept art or anything of the Beyond Big Thunder.
Right.
And they kept saying that Magic Kingdom is about to get its biggest expansion since New Fantasyland, and it's about to go into overdrive, and it's going to be a huge, major expansion, and
still blue sky.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because Encanto is moving to Animal Kingdom.
Right.
Or possibly, which was different than last year.
Right.
So you would think the Encanto thing wouldn't also be coming to Magic Kingdom, so that's scrapped.
I wouldn't think.
So what is coming to Beyond Big Thunder?
No one knows.
Yeah. The other possible thing was
villains.
Well, villains, but they didn't really. They did talk about that last year, but what's the other? Why am I forgetting?
Oh, what was
the
the other
movie?
IP that was involved? Oh,
Why am I-
Coco.
Yeah, Coco.
Coco needs a presence in the parks. Attraction
Yeah,
wise.
yeah. It could work beyond Big Thunder as like
Could.
a desert kind of land. Yeah, it could work, but
Well, kind of a side note. What is it? This how well The Little Mermaid has done since it went to streaming.
right. So, yeah, it's gone crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it had like the most watches in a short time period since it of any of the ones that started on Disney Plus. So I couldn't remember. I can't remember how many that was though right now off the top of my head.
Maybe they should update Little Mermaid to the live action one.
I don't know if I'd go that.
It'd be kind of hard to do.
They do have the meet and greets already though, so
Yeah, which we did. That was a good meet and greet.
and
actually.
even though as of the time we're recording this, at least anyway, Elemental has really just gotten started. So
Yeah,
I feel like that one's going to get a lot more views, even though it gained momentum in the theaters. I feel like that one's going to get a lot more traction on Disney Plus.
Right.
Personally.
Yeah, I got to see that one for sure.
We've watched it twice already in this house.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I got to see it.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's on my list.
It's a good one.
All right, should we move to Epcot really quickly? I think that was basically all of Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
There was a lot at Epcot. Journey of Water opens October 16th.
Looks awesome.
It's basically already ready to open, so I don't know why they're waiting, but there's going to be the Moana meet and greet's going to move over there as well on October 16th. So there's pass holder preview dates are like September 24th through the 29th and then October 1st to the 4th. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that when I get a chance.
I mean, what I've seen video-wise of the Journey of Water, I've really enjoyed it. I think it's going to turn out great, personally. I'm a big thumbs up for me.
Cool. Yeah. It looks well done, yeah. It does look well done.
I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back to Epcot, truthfully, but it's on my list. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
To do.
So in similar area news, the construction pit, aka World Celebration, is going to open December 2023.
No way.
No specific date, but it says December 2023. So December 31st at 11:59 p.m.
Sure.
Maybe. Possibly.
What's supposed to be there again? I've forgotten at this point.
There's like a stage area for performances. There's the basically festival center, the toned down festival center. Some bathrooms, some gardens. The Walt Dreamer statue is supposed to be there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's about it.
So
I think that's really all that's going to happen.
Innovations 2.0, I guess.
Oh, so it's the Communicore Hall, which I think also the meet and greet's coming back that was there. So I think that's part of the Mickey and Friends one.
Oh, that was the last. I was about to ask what was the last meet and greet there. I know they had several in the Communicore or Innovations area, really.
It was Meet Mickey and Friends. That was one of them.
One of them was a Baymax one.
Yeah, that was over there at one point. It was on the other side of the Mickey one.
I guess he's gone now.
And then they had Joy and Sadness there once as well.
But I think they have them at Imagination now. Because Figment can only be there for so long, right? At a time, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Speaking
Joy shares that space.
Right.
Whoops.
So the Figment meet and greet started immediately after, the day after the D23 announcement. And, it had like 4-hour waits the first day.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know anymore how since then how bad it's gotten, but
it's been pretty bad. It's been up to 5 hours, I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it for me because I don't really love Figment that much. I'm like, nobody's worth the 5-hour wait to me.
One thing I like about this, Figment is a classic Epcot character.
Yeah,
It's
true.
proof that people still have a fondness for classic Epcot.
True. Yeah. They're showing the love.
Yeah. And they throw a bone really at another one of the announcements. I guess I'll wait till you do that one. But
We'll throw it in if you want.
Well, what I was about to say, though, is the Figment, he went from a puppet to a bad adult costume or like full costume thing to this. This is much better. This is an improvement over the previous, but I don't know. I think he worked better when he was true to life size, like he is in the attraction. For me,
right? The smaller Figment.
This is obviously working for the moment. So I mean, I can't criticize it really.
I don't really have a desire to meet Figment, but a lot of people do. So cool.
Yeah,
support classic Epcot though.
That part I love. Yeah. I wish they were capable of putting the attraction back to its original or some version of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to, what is it, like fire codes or whatever, they're not going to be able to do exactly the same anyway. So, and they've already changed it.
Yeah. Also, though, speaking of classic Epcot, this one was a surprise, but then when you think about it, it's not that surprising. Test Track is going to get a reimagining.
That's the one I wasn't trying to step on.
Okay, got it. But of course, they mentioned at length at the beginning of how great their partnership with Chevrolet is, which basically means Chevy is shelling out the cash for this refurbishment, which is the only reason that got greenlit, probably.
Right. So apparently somebody at Chevy realizes that World of Motion is missed. Right.
So, yes, speaking of, they did say that they're going to reach back in history for inspiration from the original World of Motion attraction. So, I don't know what that really means, but I'm excited about it. So,
it makes me curious to see how this turns out, what they actually do.
The cover art shows a lot of, like, basically you're driving through a forest, what it looks like, with the sun setting, maybe.
Which I can't figure out what that has to do with the original World of Motion.
Right. I'm trying to understand. Are you on the road trip this time? You're the one on the road trip?
So does bringing back inspiration or being inspired by the original, does that mean you're going to have 40 different versions of It's Fun to Be Free?
Yeah.
Featured?
Don't know. Right. That would be cool.
How many different versions of that song did they make for that attraction? They made a ton of them. More than any other attraction I can remember.
They could have like a dubstep version now, more modern.
Right.
Yeah. A trap version. That'd be cool. Fun to be free.
Okay.
Anyway.
If you say so.
Yeah. Anywho. But the new car looks like a Tron car, actually.
Well.
It looks more Tron than the current cars, but
there's only so much they can do with the cars because you're not going to scrap those ride vehicles.
No.
Just too costly.
But it's, artist concept only, so that's going to change. But
right. If anything, they're going to give the, it's going to have a new paint job, basically. That's about it.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, you're not going to change a whole lot.
Not really.
Vehicle. But
so, that's cool. But, they have the money, I guess, the sponsor to change it.
I'll say this. I'm all for getting rid of the Tron
Tron track
look on the inside. If they get rid of that, it would definitely be an improvement. So
I will say the design of car, some people hate on it. I think it's kind of cool. Gives you something to do when you're in line. So
yeah, but I think it lasts a little bit too long. Maybe on purpose though.
Yeah.
To make the wait seem
not as bad.
Yeah.
Gives you something to do, which, it's better than waiting in that line. That test track line is not fun.
I was going to say, so if they're going to draw inspiration from the original World of Motion, are they going to do the whole taking it outside in the front type thing again?
Yeah. That would be cool. I would love to bring that scene back where they have like the wagon and everything, like the crash into each other or whatever in the marketplace or whatever. I don't know what you call it.
I will say it'd be kind of neat. Whatever they do is if they do a few throwbacks to
It would be cool, yeah, to the original.
Kind of like in Imagination, there's not a whole lot of people that get the reference of the tennis shoes being right there by the computers, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
If they did a few nods, yeah.
Right. Even if they did stuff like that, that would be.
They'd probably just have like a poster on the wall that says "Fun to be free" or something.
Hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's not that scaled down.
Yeah. Or like the Great Moving Ride at
right. Yeah.
which is a cool nod, actually. I do like that one.
Speaking of which, Runaway Railway. That's a tough one.
Runaway Railway, yeah. It's hard
Runaway
not to
Railway.
say like a 2-year-old.
Yeah. I saw a video recently from TPM Vids, like the
Oh, really?
And it shows what they do. Like apparently the the carnival scene when Minnie and Mickey are on the balloons, like that robotic arm that brings them up, right? And they, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So when that fails, apparently there is a B mode, in which
Really?
on the screen in the back, there's actually an animated version of them that's like on the
Oh, really?
the screen in the background.
So it's like a projection of them instead of the
Yes,
animatronic thing.
it comes up there.
Does
instead
it
of the
cover
actual-
it? I'm trying to think. Is it covered?
Well,
somehow?
when it malfunctions, it doesn't come out.
Okay. Interesting.
So
I've not seen that B mode yet. That's kind of cool.
right,
That's cute.
but it's out there, so you need to go check that out.
Okay, I'll look that up. The only other thing I can recall Epcot is the new fireworks show, or the new nighttime spectacular.
Yeah,
It is Luminous. Luminous. I don't know how we say it.
spelled similar to harmonious.
Yeah, I know. And the Symphony of Us. December 5th is when it debuts. So I guess we'll see.
Of this year?
Yeah.
So they already have one that ready to go. Obviously, it's not going to involve any robotic arm.
Yeah. So I'm like, is this even better than Epcot Forever? Like, this doesn't seem like a lot went into it. But
I bet you it's going to be like Illuminations 2.0. I bet you.
Okay, we'll see.
So it's going to be done in the spirit of Illuminations, but it's going to be a new soundtrack. It's going to be obviously not exactly the same pyro, but it's going to be done in the spirit of, I bet you.
I mean, do you think it'll be better than Harmonious?
No. That's my initial reaction anyway.
I actually really love the soundtrack to Harmonious, so.
Yeah. The only thing I would hope, I mean, even though Harmonious was not bad and it had a lot of IP soundtracks, but if they're going to redo it, I hope they're not as IP heavy this time. That's just my personal preference.
We'll see. More like worldly music.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the original soundtrack and everything to Illuminations, or at least the Reflections of Earth version. Right? I mean, It lasted for a really long time.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
I don't know if the reason why it lasted is because people enjoyed it, that soundtrack anyway, but it was one of my personal favorite nighttime shows even still then. So
yeah. It was.
Even not just because Winnie the Pooh was in the intro.
Sure.
And we will be right back.
Teaching her how to drive. But Dad, why not use Greenlight to help her save for her own car? Mowing lawns and getting paid. She'll go from washing your car to flexing with her own. How? With Greenlight, the money app for families. Together, you can navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing. Because when you teach her to be smart about money, she'll go far. Invest in your best investment. Sign up today at greenlight.com.
This episode is also sponsored by Zencastr. We use Zencastr for traveling with a mouse, and we really enjoy how easy and user-friendly it is. You can record up to 4K video and high-quality audio, and they have backups, so you never have to worry about losing any of your audio. Go to Zencastr.com and use the promo code TWTM and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story with Zencastr.
And now, back to the show.
All right, I guess that leaves the animal kingdom.
Yep.
So,
I guess was one of the biggest news, right?
it was, even though it's still a lot of blue sky. Not much has changed.
They had more detail here.
Yeah, this new concept art looks better. So, start with though, Tough to Be a Bug is going to be replaced by Zootopia. So, what do you think about replacing a 3D show with, I guess, a 3D show based on Zootopia?
It's just an update with a more modern Disney film, really.
Right. Tough
So-
to Be a Bug was like the only Pixar film that didn't get a sequel.
Really?
Or Bug's Life, I mean. Sorry, Bug's Life. Wasn't it? I mean, one of the early ones that never got a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah, but I kind of respect that in a way because I think there's too many sequels, personally.
Yeah, I don't think Bug's Life was that memorable, though.
Yeah, but how many Pixar films did get a sequel?
Well, in
Yeah.
the early ones, you know, Toy Story got a lot. Nemo,
But,
Finding
but,
Nemo.
Of the early, yeah, it took a while for Nemo to get one, though.
But it got one. Cars. Trying to think what else was one of the early ones.
Okay, how many of those did the sequel live up to or surpass the original?
Definitely not Cars 2. That was awful.
I would say that Finding Nemo is still better than Finding Dory.
I like Finding Dory, though.
Yeah, but which one are you going to say is better?
Yeah, probably the original.
See?
I think Toy Story 2 was better than 1. I always thought that. But anyway.
Right. But it's like the rare case. Like it's like the Terminator 2 is the rare case.
Yeah. Zootopia, I think it'll be good in there. I think it'll fill the lineup some more, which is what they need
For a
Tough to Be
while.
a Bug. Yeah, for a short time. I don't think people love 3D shows, though.
I think it's kind of become a thing of the past.
Yeah. So, we'll see how it goes.
And PhilharMagic was great when it first came out, but I just think that 3D shows have kind of they're played.
Been there, done that, yeah.
Yeah, at this point. And Disney had several of them at one point in time.
So the big news, which I guess still is kind of blue sky, but it's not like, oh, this is happening in 2025 or 6 or whatever. It's happening maybe in the next 10 years. It's Dino Land
In the next what years?
10,
Oh, I think it'll be sooner than that.
hopefully.
I mean,
We'll
gosh,
see.
if it's not, then they're going to be well behind the times on the Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So you let the cat out of the bag. Indiana Jones is going to replace Dinosaur.
Right.
It looks like an Aztec temple in the concept art. And that kind of makes you think Crystal Skull, unfortunately.
I hope not.
Right. At the beginning of Raiders was in South America, but that's not really the same thing. So, I don't know.
So they're theming it to what? What are they theming it to again?
Oh, it was, I think, didn't they say Central America? It said
Okay.
Tropical Americas. I
right.
think is the word they used.
Oh, it's broad.
So, like the northern part of South America into Central America.
Right. So here's the interesting thing. They don't really say exactly what they're going to do Indiana Jones was, or do they? Everybody assumes.
It's going to be
assumes-
Dinosaur.
Yeah, everybody assumes that it's going to be bringing the existing attraction on the West Coast here to the East Coast.
Yeah, it would make sense because it's basically the same attraction. So,
Since Dinosaur was a clone.
Right.
Except with dinosaurs.
you know what would be hilarious is if they did like the Triceratops spin, they converted it to some Indiana Jones.
No,
Spinner.
well, of course you can't get this from the looks of the concept art, but the concept art suggests that that's totally gone.
Well, if you look at it,
Yes.
though, it looks like something is covered there that is in a circle. So are they just covering Triceratops spin and making it something? I don't know. A spinner still. It looks like it's still there. In my
Well,
way
it's
I
going to
could
be Well, I always felt like that entire section, aside from the Indiana Jones attraction, which seemed to be obviously to me over there where Dinosaur was.
Yeah.
But everything else seemed to be where the Hester and Chester's Dino-Rama, right,
yeah.
was.
Right.
And that suggested it was mostly in Kanto. There was no other...
Mhm.
There was
Yeah.
no other IP mentioned, though, right?
Right. Yeah, and Kanto was mentioned, and you can clearly see the house is there. So
Right.
that hopefully whatever attraction Lin-Manuel Miranda pitched the Imagineers
Will be there,
will be that. Yeah, that would be cool.
involving the house.
Right. Would it be a walkthrough attraction though? That'd be interesting.
Maybe they
Or-
could do it similar to the Haunted Mansion, but with Encanto.
Possibly. It'd be interesting.
Or similar to, what is that? It's what's the one in, is it China or Tokyo? Or is it, no, it's Hong Kong, I think. Which one has, oh gosh, what's the name of it now? Mystic Manor. Which one has Mystic Manor? I'm trying to remember. I know it's one of the Asian parks.
Is it Hong Kong?
Yeah, I think it's Hong Kong. But it's a trackless ride, and so could they be going that route and going trackless with it?
Yeah,
Wouldn't-
Hong Kong.
It would only be at this point, only the third trackless ride in the States, or in Florida, anyway, if they were to go that route.
Yeah. Does Encanto and Indiana Jones really fit in Animal Kingdom?
Well, the way they're doing it, it kind of does.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, using what you said, the Central Americas, right?
Right. But does that really fit in Animal Kingdom?
It kind of does in the same sense like Asia does.
But there's no animals in this concept art. Like, there won't be.
Oh, there
any
will be.
animals.
There will be.
You think they'll have like animal? I mean, obviously they can't have actual dinosaurs in Dino Land.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You
Hopefully
plan
not.
on having dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right?
Yeah. Well, not ones that work.
Not now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
I don't
another
know.
B mode that was interesting.
Dinosaur.
Because you know the scene where the Carnotaurus
Mm.
is
Dives
supposed
at
to,
you.
it's supposed to be the one at where his big scene where you get your picture taken.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay. Mm.
So whenever that is down, it's supposed to be dark in that area, but then there's like an alternate to the left and up high. There's like a smaller Carnotaurus head.
Oh,
It's
really?
just like there, just like hanging out there that they shine the light on. So,
But do you
anyway.
take the picture in the wrong spot then?
Good
That's weird.
question. I don't know.
Or do they have a camera on that one? That's weird.
Good question. As you get a different angle that day.
Or do you just not get a
I've never
camera?
encountered it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
I
I'm not either.
Yeah, it's
Not
always
going.
been, well, I say working. I use that term loosely. It's always been working.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the big ones for Disney World, other than Ahsoka's coming to Star Tours.
Oh, I must have missed that one. She's coming to Star Tours?
Yeah, that was one of the first things Josh Tamara mentioned.
Well, it didn't apparently make as many headlines as the others. So
No, because, I mean, he mentioned it like right at the beginning. It's cool to add stuff like that to Star Tours
right.
when something new comes out. And I will say this about Ahsoka, it's good. It's really good. It gets better with each episode.
I haven't I got past the first episode, but I haven't taken the time to watch further yet. I need to.
Episode 5 is like a live action version of a Clone Wars episode almost, like,
Really?
kind of, yeah. It's interesting. And I haven't watched a lot of it, but I knew enough to kind of follow along with what the heck was happening. I kind of gathered. I knew enough to know basically what
Right.
was happening, but
Right.
yeah, it was like, okay, this is getting pretty good. So, definitely get to episode 5 if you can.
Cool.
Who knows what happens after that? Because it hasn't come out as of this time. I just did one. One of yours.
You committed the cardinal sin.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention at Epcot about the Soarin' Over California is returning to
yeah.
Epcot September 22nd. They didn't announce a...
Yeah, no one knows
Ending.
how long. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I'd be able to get the chance to see it, but we'll see.
When do you go?
First week of October.
Okay.
So we shall see if it's still there or not. I don't know. The e-ticket ride that's coming to DCA, Avengers Campus, that was something Disneyland. That was really the only announcement Disneyland got.
Was?
It was the time jumper. What was it called? Reality jumping. The Thanos ride, basically, for Avengers Campus. It's supposed to be an e-ticket, is what they say.
We'll see.
They gave like a piece of concept art, but no indication of when this is going to open. But it's supposed to be something new.
Something
Like the
They're
only
supposed
thing
to
they
be
said
something?
about Disney. I mean, that's all they said about Disneyland. So
right.
I think that was basically all of it. That was kind of the major stuff. So
The gist.
for the domestic parks anyway, I know like Frozen Land is opening soon. Where is it? Hong Kong? Shanghai is getting the Zootopia, which they gave an update on that. Anyway, well, we were going to talk more about the treasure. Did we talk? I guess we already did that, or did we?
No, we haven't done that yet, but I think it probably deserves a little more time than what we have.
Yeah, we should give it its own segment. They did release, since D23, the more information about their community that they're building. So I guess they're going on Cotino, right? The new in like Palm Springs, California area. It looks fine. I mean, I'm surprised that they're continuing this, that Bob Iger didn't cancel this project, because this was definitely a Chapek thing, wasn't it?
Sort of, kind of, but
Celebration 2.0.
let's be honest, some of the ideas that had been going along with prior to him being CEO, he probably had some hand in.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not like he's only it's not like
Cotino.
It's not like he only had ideas whenever he became CEO. So
They say they're going to do more. I mean, if you look at the website, they say they will do more of these somewhere else in the country. So
Josh Tomorrow has influence,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Even now, you would
Possibly.
think.
Right. So that's a possibility. Another news, again, well, this is in the rumor category, but this came out today about Disney World was granted a permit extension for the area that was Reflections, a lakeside lodge and rehab center. We always make that joke.
Yes.
So they have now until May 31st, 2028 on that project permit there. So it opens the door that they may continue to build that, or something completely new, possibly, on that site, the old River Country site. So we'll see what happens there. No announcement.
I think the Reflection Resort is being resurrected because we've seen that they have, kept the permits, I think, current.
Mm-hmm.
When there's
that's what I was talking about. Yeah, that's what I was
talking
talking
about.
about.
But what I'm saying is that should be for the same project then. That's the reason why I say.
You would, right. It should be, yeah. I assume it's the same project, yeah. Right. So
that's why I say that. I don't think they can change it.
Right, okay.
Well,
right.
I guess they can modify it, but I don't think why? Why keep the permits and everything current if you don't plan on going through with it, in my opinion? That's just me.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the treasure
a
little while ago. What was that about the most expensive room for the initial sailing, right?
Oh, right.
Like it had been booked, but then it apparently somebody walked it back.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Canceled.
Yeah. $97,000. The check didn't clear or something.
I guess that's probably what happens. So apparently, let's see, $97,000.
Yeah.
Originally booked anyway for $97,000 for 2 adults and 1 child for a Christmas sailing, which is when obviously the rates are higher anyway.
Yeah.
Above it. So, but then I think it said that they canceled, or it's now available again. Last I saw.
Right, I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
They didn't pay the deposit. That's what it
right.
was.
You got $100,000 that you burning a hole in your pocket that you want to book this inaugural sailing.
That's just ridiculous, though. The total price, $97,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice and all, but it ain't that nice.
I mean, you got to be like John Stamos to be, wanting to do that.
Right. Why John Stamos?
I don't know, because he's a big Disney fan.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
That's all I'm thinking.
He's a big Disney fan that has, well...
Probably $97,000.
I don't know if he has that kind of money to burn. I mean, he was just on Full House. I mean, come on.
Well, he was on this Disney Plus show about basketball. I'm sure he made $100,000 doing that.
He was also on the Haunted Mansion, the Muppet Haunted Mansion. He was.
Well, that's at least $100,000 probably. I'm sure they paid him that much.
That was really good, by the way. I thought.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that we're gonna watch every Halloween season.
Oh,
We're gonna watch Haunted Mansion,
The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Of course, Hocus Pocus becomes popular that time of year.
Yes,
things like that. I didn't care too much for the sequel. I mean, it's alright, but the original I liked.
Man.
Even them coming out with a 2 so many years later, I just feel like it fell short.
Fell short.
So, yeah. But anyway, and in any case.
Yeah, only other news is, then this is a minor story. Narcoossee's is closing again September 17th because they're quote-unquote upgrading, what's the quote?
What are they upgrading?
Oh, they will be making more equipment updates. That's what it says.
Okay.
They completely redid the interior last year, and now they're closing it again. It says they expect to reopen mid-October, so it'll be closed for about a month.
I have not been there thus far. You have, though, right?
No, I have not eaten there. Jason's done it twice.
And Jason's done it.
And he liked it a lot. I would love to go back there, to be honest. But
I guess I could try it one time. I'm not really a big fan of
Grand Floridian.
Grand Floridian. Yeah, things go like Grand Floridian. The lobby is about the best thing about it.
I do love the Grand Floridian, and this is one that I don't know why I haven't eaten there yet, because I do love it.
As we are doing this, my brother is still on vacation there and staying at the Grand Floridian.
Indeed.
I can say that his opinion, though, is that the Poly is better.
Well, I mean, how can you replace, your childhood with one stay at the Grand Floridian and be like, oh, this is totally better than my childhood memories of Disney? But
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the styling, the theming, maybe, that I don't like as good. But I mean, I like Animal Kingdom better than Grand Floridian.
Yes. Any of the monorail resorts I would take.
I like Contemporary better than Grand.
I do like Contemporary.
And Grand Floridian is the flagship, so to speak. I feel like I would like the Grand Californian better.
Which is basically the Wilderness Lodge.
I think it's kind of like a hybrid of the two, right?
Yeah. I mean, Wilderness Lodge and Grand Floridian shoved together. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
Anywho, we should probably
gotta wrap
this. Put a bow on it. Where can we be found?
Well, we have Facebook, Twitter. X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. That is all at TWTM Podcast. We do still have a Spreadshirt store, shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. And of course, we have a YouTube channel, which still the Tron video is the latest one, but it's gotten a good bit of traction. So if you want to check out stuff like that, and a lot of classic videos on there, where else can you find that, Adam?
Our website, travelingwiththemouse.com. You can email us podcast at travelingwiththemouse.com. We have a travel agent friend. Her website is also linked on our website if you'd like assistance there. So for John, my name is Adam, and this has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on our next trip.
Your cadaverous pallor betrays an aura of foreboding. Almost as though you sense a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted room actually stretching?
That's a
Or
good
is
one.
it your imagination?
That's a pretty good one.